Low carb, slow carb, or no carb. You've probably heard about carbohydrates in relation to weight loss. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about carbohydrates, because guess what? Not all carbohydrates are actually bad for you. Carbohydrates are made up of sugar, fiber, and starches. We're going to compare and contrast simple carbohydrates with complex carbohydrates. At the end of this, I hope you have a clear picture about what carbs are actually good for your body and you can continue to eat for a nutritious diet, and which ones are bad and you should really start to cut out of your diet. Simple carbs are called the bad carbs, and complex carbs are the good carbs. The bad carbs, the simple carbohydrates, are high in sugar, where complex carbohydrates contain natural sugars and they're low in any kind of processed sugar. Simple carbs are low in fiber and low in nutrients, and complex carbohydrates are high in nutrients and high in fiber, which helps keep you full longer. Simple carbohydrates metabolize quickly. They cause the blood sugar to jump very high, very quickly, and it starts breaking down as soon as you eat it. Versus complex carbohydrates, they take a long time to raise the blood sugar, and it takes a long time for that to digest. That actually contributes to your hunger as well. After eating something such as a simple carb, a donut, you may feel hungry within a half an hour or an hour of eating it, compared to eating a fibrous complex carbohydrate meal such as oatmeal, which would keep you full for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Simple carbs are also high in sodium and trans fats. Complex carbohydrates are low in sodium and low in trans fats. Some examples of those simple bad carbohydrates are pastries, cookies, cakes, chips, soda, to name a few. Some examples of complex carbohydrates include oats, couscous, fruits and vegetables, and legumes. Refined carbohydrates is the process of removing important nutrients from the carbohydrate, such as the wheat and the germ. In this process, the B vitamins, iron, and fiber has been stripped in order to maintain a longer shelf life. A few examples of these products is white rice, white bread, or even enriched breads. Oftentimes, you will see that products have been enriched. This just means that those B vitamins and the iron that once was removed in the refined process is then added back into the product. However, what's missing? The fiber. The fiber that helps keep you full and helps with your digestion has been removed. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about the glycemic index. The glycemic index is a scale used to measure the rate of absorption that different food has on your body. A low glycemic food rates below 55. A medium glycemic food would be 56 to 69, and a high glycemic food is anything that scores over 70. Check out this list here for a few examples. Looking at white rice versus brown rice, you can see there's clearly a difference in the rate of absorption. The white rice scores 63 on the glycemic index, which would be a medium glycemic food, and the brown rice scores a 22. The rate of absorption is much slower for a brown rice because it still does contain the fiber. The glycemic index is just a tool you can use to decide and determine if the item is high in processed sugars versus items that are high in fiber. Items that have a lot of processed sugar is going to be a high glycemic index food. It will cause your blood sugar to spike right away and then drop. But items that are high in fiber will not cause that same spike and drop. Maintaining your blood glucose levels is important for your health and does help you regulate your energy. Most important, I just want you to understand the difference between the simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Not all carbs are bad for you. Choose the good carbs. Choose vegetables and fruit and whole grain options. If you look on the back of a food label and it says that the item has been enriched, just take notice that the fiber has then been removed and there are probably healthier options out there for you. If the product says that it's been refined, know that the fiber, B vitamins, and iron has been removed from that product. Don't be afraid to eat a nutritious meal containing complex carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. It's a blanket term used for a lot of different kinds of food. That's why a lot of people have this misconception about whether carbs are good and bad, and whether they should go on a low-carb diet, a slow-carb diet, or a no-carb diet. To be honest, I don't believe in any diet at all. I believe that each food group is important for your life. It's impossible to skip on birthday parties and anniversaries and celebrations just because you're too afraid to touch the carbohydrates. It is important to establish the knowledge and information to make educated decisions going forth in your daily life. Be sure to check the link in your email for the Check for Understanding quiz. If you have additional questions in terms of carbohydrates, please reach out to me. Have a great week.